Welcome to this recorded webinar on the delivery and assessment of the City and Guilds Level 2 Technical Award in Land-Based Studies. My name is John Ray and I'm one of two technical advisors for land. I'm also joined by my colleague Alison Whittle, who is Technical Advisor for Post 16 and Technical Awards. So during this presentation we will look at the Technical Award basic content, the support and resources that City and Guild provides to its centres, some suggested delivery models, how the award is assessed, how to mark the synoptic assignments, how grading is carried out and what this means for performance tables, and round off with showing you how to access the materials to support your planning and delivery. The Level 2 Technical Award in Land-Based Studies from City and Guilds conforms to the requirements laid out by the DFE and is a key stage for qualification of 120 guided learning hours. It has 3 units that are mandatory and will be part of the assessment of the qualification. Although the primary purpose of Key Stage 4 qualifications is to develop understanding of a particular industry, City and Guilds also includes practical activities to help embed the knowledge. The learning content for this qualification covers Unit 201, Exploring the Use of Land. Within this unit, learners will understand different uses of land and associated industries and understand how land use has changed. In Unit 202, Application of Science in the Land-Based Sector, learners will understand the structure and function of plants. They will use scientific principles for successful propagation of plants and crops. They will understand requirements of nutrition and growth in animals and use scientific principles to monitor health and well-being of animals. In Unit 203, Application of Technology in the Land-Based Sector, learners will understand the role technology plays in the management of land-based industries. They will understand the range of technology used within land-based industries, and they will understand how science and innovation has influenced technology development. Having decided to use the qualification with City and Guilds, you will need to register your learners. This should take place by the end of October and is carried out using our online system called Walled Garden. Your exams officer or you should have a username and password to access the system. Once logged on, go to the catalogue, select Catalogue again from the second navigation bar and then select City and Guilds. You now need to select the qualification you are registering the learners on using the qualification code or title. In this case it will be the 0170-20 or Level 2 Technical Award in Land-Based Studies. Click on the green bar to place the order and then select named registrations. You can now add the learner details required for registration. First name, last name, date of birth and gender. Once you have added your learners, click Add to Basket, then click on Confirm to complete the order registration process. We do provide a number of guidance documents. The link shows where you can access further details on using the Walled Garden. Now let's have a look at some of the support and resources City and Guilds can provide to centres. The link shown at the bottom of this slide will take you to the generic Technicals resource and support page. We would encourage all centres delivering technical qualifications to read through the documents provided. as these are aimed to help you plan your delivery, help understand the assessment methodology of the technical by using the Teaching, Learning and Assessment Guide. They will help you understand how the assessment is marked, providing guidance for the area carried out in centre and the overall moderation process in the Marking and Moderation Guide. There is also a welcome pack to take you through setting up for working with City and Guilds and its technical qualifications. And perhaps most important of all, the exam timetable that provides dates for booking exams, synoptic projects, and when they will take place. In addition to generic resources like the technical awards, information from new centres, we also have materials more specific to the qualification being run on its own webpage. When going onto the City and Guilds website, search for 0170 and select the 0170 programme from the list of options provided. Once on the web page, click on the Documents tab where you will find a block for Level 2 qualifications. Under the Level 2 block, you will find the Qualification Handbook, General Report about the qualification, as well as the Chief Examiner and Principal Moderator's reports. These will show you common mistakes that have been made and provide guidance on best practice. We also provide sample assignments and sample question papers, as well as having a number of past assessments used in previous exam periods that you can use for revision purposes. When available, the live synoptic project will be found here as well. It will be password protected so that only tutors have access to it. We also provide an exam guide that shows typical types of questions and some expectation of the way they should be answered, as well as guidance on preparing your learners for the assessment that includes use of command verbs in our tests.
Before we look at some of the delivery models, I think we just need to look at some of the considerations when delivering the technical award, because it will require a holistic approach. That means the full syllabus will need to be taught just the same as in all GCSE exams, where you would teach the whole specification. Exams and tasks are then set from the content in the specification. The main difference is that they are not unitised and not unit assessed. The only evidence that we require is the end test and synoptic assignment, and City and Guilds provide both of these assessments to you. There may be additional evidence that your centres may require in line with the Common Inspection Framework, for example, some formative marking, ongoing tests, and evidence of tracking your progress. The next two slides, we're going to look at some examples of 1- and 2-year delivery programmes. So this slide looks at a possible delivery model over one academic year. So to give you an idea of what that could look like, the idea would be that you would begin your delivery in September, at the beginning of the autumn term, and that would include your induction to the technical award. You would then deliver all of the knowledge, including the practical skills if they're required, until February in the spring term. The synoptic assignment and controlled assessment will be released to centres for tutors in the autumn term in September. And this is to allow the centres to prepare for the assessments and allow for the resources that may be required to deliver this assignment. You would then register your learners for the end test in the first exam window. The dates are on the website and the first exam series are in February and March. When your learners sit the first exam, the results of that end test will be submitted to your centre by the end of May. That then allows the centre sufficient time to re-enter learners for the theory exam in the second series if you wish to have a resit or those learners need to improve their marks. The second sitting in May or June, the results of that will be released to the centre in August alongside the remaining of the GCSE qualifications for that year for other exam boards. So just to clarify, please be aware that there is no opportunity for a resit for the synoptic assignment in the same academic year. So this slide looks at what a 2-year delivery programme could look like. So it's a sample really showing you how to plan your delivery over 2 years. And this is just a suggestion because each centre will have their own models and have their own timetabling. So year 1, you could focus on the delivery of the syllabus. And you could maybe enter your learners for the June or the May-June exam series at the end of year 1. So there's been something to work towards for the whole of that academic year. Then the results of that second exam series in May and June, you will have the results of that in August alongside all other exam boards qualifications for GCSEs, etc. That means when your learners come back and start the second year in September, you then register the synoptic assessment, and that is released to tutors in September of that year. You can then prepare your learners for that synoptic assignment in the February and March in the second year, having had all that knowledge delivered in the first year as well. Now, centres will be able to release their synoptic assignment to learners in February. Now, in this year, the date was February the 4th when synoptic assignments went live. This date will be altered every year and will be available on the website. So all the evidence for the synoptic assessment must be submitted in May, and the date again will be on the website. This year it is May the 17th. So with a 2-year delivery, if you have any learners that took the exam in the first year in May and June and were either not successful or you want to improve their grade, you can see in the second year there are other exam opportunities, either in the first exam series, which is February and March, for any retakes, or you may want to wait for those learners to take the exam later on in the year, which will be the May-June series. Again, the results will be coming into you in August for the May-June series and May for the February-March series. I think it's really important at this point to point out that there is only one chance for a resit. So you can take the exam and have one of those resits. So this does not mean there is 3 times you can actually sit the exam. It's one exam and one resit in those windows. But as you can see, there is complete flexibility with your delivery models over a 2 and even a 3-year in some case program. We have an excellent exam guide document which is available on our website. This provides lots of valuable information on how to teach your learners the exam vocabulary and the types of answers that will be required by each command verb. You will see some examples on the graphic here, where we're looking at the words list, label and state. That possibly would require more short word answer tests, more short word answers rather than the longer in-depth, such as analyse, compare and evaluate. This guide is critical for the success of the theory exam, and as I say, it's the first document really to prepare your learners in how to sit their first theory test. On this slide, we're looking at some key exam dates for the 2018 and 2019 academic year. And this provides a series of dates that are critical for booking on booking windows, which close this year on the 22nd of December for the first exam for the technical award for this year. Centres only have to book assessments in this window if they're actually taking the theory exam in February and March 2019, or are taking the synoptic in this academic year. Obviously, if you have a 2-year programme, then you'll be looking at the dates that will be published for next year's windows. So please note, if you want to enter your learners for the 2019 theory exam, you will need to book this between the 1st of March and the 27th of April 2019 if you're planning to have theory exams in this 2018-19 academic year. If your learners are doing the synoptic in the 2019-2020 academic year, then you will need to book that in autumn 2019. There is a document available on the website that provides all of these key dates. This is a visual of a curriculum planner that we produced, really as an exemplar of how to deliver the technical award. We have past examples of a 1-year and a 2-year delivery model. We've looked at some centre feedback for this year, and what we have done is produce an editable version with all of the key dates on. This document is available for you to download, and then you can input your own delivery model within the editable version. This then allows you as a centre to plan your own delivery model, which will be conducive to your timetable.
Now let's take a look at the assessment process. City and Guilds has developed its technical qualifications to have only 2 assessments, reducing the assessment and marking burden on centres that allows more time for teaching and the development of learners. There is a synoptic practical assignment that will look to assess the range of skills and knowledge developed from the programme, and an externally set exam. The synoptic practical assignment is externally set by City and Guilds. It is internally marked and standardised within centre. It is externally moderated by City and Guilds. It contributes 60% to the overall grade of the qualification, and there is 1 window in each academic year to complete the synoptic assignment. If a learner fails the synoptic assignment, there is only 1 resit allowed, and that is in the next academic year. There is no resit opportunity within the current academic year. The external assessment, which is in the form of a theory exam, is externally set, again by City and Guilds. It is externally marked. It contributes 40% to the overall grade of the qualification. There are 2 dated opportunities in each academic year to sit the theory exam. So if a learner was to fail the theory exam at the first sitting, then they are allowed 1 resit opportunity. Let's look at the assessment in a bit more detail, starting with the external exam. Remembering that paper-based exams need to be booked well in advance. As already stated, the external exam is set and marked by City and Guilds. It must be sat on a set date and time as detailed in the exam guide. In this case, it is from 9:30 till 11:30 on the 13th of March. Or if learners were booked into the second sitting, that will be the 18th of June 2019. There are paper and/or online versions available. For this qualification, you would use code 001 for Evolve tests and 501 for the paper-based version when booking on Walled Garden. The external test covers critical knowledge. Generally, they are 10 to 12 short answer questions to test breadth and depth, and 1 extended response question. It contributes 40% to the overall grade and is graded distinction, merit, pass or fail. And as already stated, there is 1 resit opportunity if learners fail the theory test. Of 5 assessment objectives that City and Guilds has developed for its technicals, only 3 are tested in the exam. The qualification handbook shows the weighting for each of these and provides some guidance on specifics for the industry. So it will be on recollection of knowledge, the understanding of concepts, theories and processes, and the integrated application of knowledge and understanding. Also on this slide you can see the mark allocation percentage for each of the assessment objectives that are assessed with the theory exam. Overall, there is a maximum of 60 marks obtainable from the exam, and we provide you with guidance on how many marks come from each unit so that you can see where the emphasis lies. Here you can see not only the marks for each unit, but the percentage for each unit. Again, we urge you to read through the exam guide found on the qualifications webpage to help you prepare your learners appropriately. Here you can see under the 0170 assessment materials where the exam guide sits. Now let's look at the synoptic assignment. This will test learners' ability to research and analyse information, as well as make use of their knowledge and practical skills that they have developed. While the centre will mark the assignment, it will go through a moderation process to check quality and standardisation of marking. The assignment can be completed any time during the synoptic window, but it must be done in class and has an actual time of around 20 hours overall. Now, just to pick out a key points from the slide, it does demonstrate the bringing together of learner skills and knowledge. It will allow learners to undertake research activities. It allows learners to reflect and evaluate their work. The moderation approach is used to ensure robust quality and rigour to the qualification. The window to complete this land-based studies synoptic assignment can be undertaken from the 2nd of January through to the 17th of May 2019. As already stated, it contributes 60% to the overall grade, and there is one resit opportunity, albeit in the next academic year. It is graded from distinction star, distinction, merit, pass or fail. The D star grade is achieved by a percentage aggregation of learners achieving top marks in the distinction grade using an awarding process. Again, linking to the synoptic assignment, there will be some report and document writing involved, though the learner will also undertake some practical challenges. It is placed on the website early in the autumn term to allow centres to plan their resource usage. The synoptic assignment is also password protected, and the password can be found on Wall Garden under the qualification, where you would enter the 6-digit qualification code 0170/20. To reiterate, there is one resit if a learner fails, but this must be in the following academic year. If the learner fails a resit, the qualification cannot be achieved. And each year the synoptic project will be a different scenario. During the synoptic assignment, the work should be carried out by the learner alone under supervised conditions, and no intervention can be carried out by a tutor for an individual learner. Tutors may run generic project guidance sessions, but these should be limited to ways of working rather than specific to the set assignment. In the design of the projects, City and Guilds have allowed for preparation work, planning time, as well as undertaking the specific tasks. And we would encourage you to read all the guidance provided in the synoptic pack and the City and Guilds qualification handbook. As you will be marking this work, it is important to understand the assessment objectives and how they are related to this specific qualification. Here you will see the typical types of evidence that we would expect to be covered during the assignment. We have also provided weightings for each objective. This illustrates the importance of each. The URL links to a video that shows how to work through marking the assignment. Once the work is completed, you will need to upload the evidence to the City and Guilds moderation portal. Please note, we do not need every learner's work. The Marking and Moderation Guide provides guidance on what is required and how big a sample should be uploaded. Moderation is done remotely. There is no requirement for this qualification that a visit to the centre is required. And the moderation process has three possible outcomes. Firstly, we accept your marking decision. If we do, then there can be no challenge to the grading that is based on your marks for the learner. Secondly, adjusted marks. Where we feel you have marked harshly or leniently, the marks may be adjusted accordingly. Thirdly, finally, there is a possibility that the work may be subject to a full remark and the moderator marks is to be used. Centres are provided not just with the decision, but feedback on their marking along with confirmation of the above. Now let's have a look at marking the synoptic assignment. I'm now going to hand over to Alison to take you through that process and the tutor responsibility.
Okay, so just to look at some of the other responsibilities that as a tutor you have for marking the synoptic assignment, you'll see there is an URL link there that links you again to some YouTube videos which are really handy to look at how to mark and give you some marking in some great detail. But overall, tutors need to make sure that you have read the marking and moderation guide. You need to comment on the paperwork we provide on the quality of work produced, and you only need to allocate marks, not grades, against each of the assessment objectives. The total marks for each learner are out of a possible 60 marks. You will then submit the marks for your whole cohort. Now, to submit the learner's evidence in the sample, this will depend on your size of the cohort that you deliver to. So, for example, if you have 12 learners or less, we will want to see all 12 learners or all of those marks for those learners if it's the 12 or less. We'd ask you to include a sample for the range of the highest marked learner, the lowest marked learner, and a range somewhere in between. If you have 13 to 100 learners, we would require a sample size of 12. Again, a range from the highest to the lowest and a range in between. If you have between 101 and 200 learners, we require a sample size of 15. Again, the highest, the lowest and the range in between. and exactly the same for more than 200 learners. The sample size is a maximum of 20, showing a range of learners as well. What is important is that all of the evidence must be uploaded. It must be collated in a logical order and named with the relevant tasks involved. For example, if there are 3 tasks involved in your synoptic assignment, they should be clearly labelled task 1, task 2 and task 3. There is further guidance and information on the marking and moderation portal, and there is a range of resources to support you on our website. Just to clarify, this is not visiting moderation. So there will be no visiting moderator. You will just need to submit the marks for your learners. And you will mark the whole of your learners and only submit the sample size on the moderation portal. So just to look at some of the information on the slide, again looking at tutors' responsibilities for marking a synoptic assignment. It is important to think that learners do not have to complete the assignment in one day. So if you have a 4 or 3 hour half-day session with your learners and the assignment tasks are say 15 to 20 hours, that can be 3 consecutive delivery days that you can then carry out your assignment. You need to plan the schedule for the synoptic according to the volume of learners, your timetabling, the physical resources you have available and the tutors that are available for that. The assignments are internally marked by your tutors, but you must use the following forms that City and Guilds provide. That is your candidate record form. You also need to submit evidence to show that your centre has standardised the work exactly the same as you would for internal quality assurance, if there is more than one marker. We also need a declaration of authenticity form. Should you have a personal interest or you actually know one of your candidates, that must also be declared on the personal interest form, and the practical observation form that must be submitted alongside all of this evidence. So all of these forms will be found under section 3 on the website. Again, there is a link to where you can find this information. As we said, a different assignment is provided each year, but the evidence produced will be internally marked using exactly the same marking grid each year with the same weightings in your assessment objectives to support comparability across the versions.
Here we see an example of the City and Guilds assessment objectives for this qualification. These documents are found towards the end of the synoptic assignment paperwork. If we now look at the 3 bands on the top line, these must not be confused as pass, merit and distinction. They are purely there as guides for marking purposes. If a learner is operating within band 1, which suggests the learner is poor to limited, they are unlikely to be able to pass the qualification. Whilst all technical qualifications have the same assessment objectives, i.e. 1 to 5, the descriptors for each individual qualification is specific to that award, and within the document are examples for tutors to use with regard to learner performance. On this example, you see some examples for the knowledge element that learners should be stating or evidencing. This is then further explained within the bands as to what might be expected for a top of band grade and also a bottom of band grade. Just to reiterate, the bands, band 1, band 2, band 3, are not the same as pass, merit or distinction criteria. So just to explain the marking overview and the stages in centre marking. So using the contextualised examples for the assessment objectives we've just looked through, Consider the full range of performance possible. You then need to judge whether the candidate's performance for the assessment objective fits in the top, the middle or bottom of the range, using the generic and contextualized band descriptors to support this decision. You must consider the group of candidates in each band or close together on the scale and rank them based on their performance for the assessment objective. So go back to the band descriptors to help verify the positioning of the cohort's performance on the scale, and then decide on marks for each candidate that places them on the scale in the correct rank order and appropriately spread out.
So the next few slides are really about how technical awards are graded and their sort of relationship with performance tables and GCSEs. So assessment and grading. The results of the theory exam and synoptic assignment and overall grade are made available to centres on the walled garden. The overall qualification grade will be calculated based on the aggregation of points that are awarded for the learner's achievements from the theory exam and the synoptic assessment, and these are then converted into grades. The technical awards are graded as fail, pass, merit, distinction, and distinction star is taken midway from the top 10% of learners achieving a distinction. Both assessments, which means the exam and the synoptic assignment, must be achieved at a minimum of a pass before the qualification can be awarded. Unfortunately, there are no compensatory methods allowed, so therefore you have to pass both the theory exam and the synoptic assignment to achieve the qualification. There is no set pass mark published in advance, as this is decided by an expert panel using an awarding process. Although you will be able to look at the grade pass boundaries from the previous year, which give an indication of what the pass boundaries would be for this qualification. The contribution of assessments towards the overall grade is set out in each of the qualification handbooks. This slide shows the points awarded against a GCSE qualification. You will see that the technical award only has 4 possible grades instead of a GCSE, which now has 9 possible grades. All technical awards are set at level 2, which is equivalent to GCSE pass grades of 4 to 9 only. So for example, distinction star on your performance tables will be worth 8.5 points. A distinction is worth 7 points, a merit is worth 5.5 points, and a pass is worth 4 points. Ofqual may adjust or alter these grades in line with any alterations to GCSE grading, or where a formula may be applied to allocate the percentage of learners who can be awarded a distinction star. So just to explain this slide, discounting codes apply where a qualification is considered to have significant overlap in content to another qualification. In this case, a discount code may be applied. This means that although the learner can achieve both qualifications and be awarded certificates for similar qualifications, only one of these qualifications will count in your school's or college's performance tables. There is a link to this document showing all the discount codes, which is available on the Department for Education website and is uploaded and changed yearly. This slide provides links to all of the relevant DFE documents required for information on Progress 8 and performance points. You will see there that all City and Guilds technical awards will count in the Key Stage 4 performance tables from 2018 onwards, and this includes the 2020 performance tables. So this next section is where to find the resource and supports available to you. This slide shows you a screenshot of where you can find all these resources. They are all free to download and provide information to help with your delivery, teaching and assessments. There is a dedicated section for Key Stage 4, as you will see on the right side of your screen, and resources and support available for teaching and learning, curriculum plans, help with maths and English support, and all of your online teaching and support resources.
In addition to the generic information provided by City and Guilds, you will also find specific information relating to the qualification. On the 0170 page under Centre Documents, you will find examiner and qualification reports alongside qualification handbooks and exam guidance documents. Under the Assessment Materials tab, you will find sample tests and projects and past papers that can be used for revision purposes. Remember, you will also find the live synoptic assignment here once it has been released. Technicals and Moderation Support Team. Our Technicals and Moderation team can be contacted either by email or using the phone number on the slide. They are available Monday to Friday, 9 AM to 5 PM, and can provide support on where to find the right documents and information, general queries about technical qualification, timeline for registrations, booking and the moderation process, technical qualification approvals, exam timelines, moderation timelines, and support and guidance with the moderation portal. If your query is a technical query and you contact Technicals and Moderation Support Team, then they will contact the technical advisors for that advice. For City and Guilds land-based services, there are two technical advisors. First one is B. Esdale, and there's myself, John Ray. As technical advisors, we can support you with the following. So we understand qualification content and requirements. We can help you in centre on board to help tutors prepare for curriculum delivery. We can help with key assessment criteria and exam preparation. We can help you with your timeline for registrations, booking and exam timelines. And we can also help you with industry-specific technical queries. And we can be contacted using the email addresses you see on the slide. Thank you for viewing this webinar, which we have used to help you with onboarding for the City and Guilds Technical Award in Land-Based Studies at Level 2.